The New Identity of the Queen, Sabirah, by Algar Merridge, aka Anton. There are those that can detect those of a religious life beyond sight. She is pleased by her manipulation from what could have been a night. She listened to others and dreamed of the realms from which originated her plight. She fed the crystal with his might. The victims are willing and do not fight. It was not for her to be detected in her blight. She needs a reason not to take flight. Hail to whom is produced for a birthright. And I agree with something I read on the Myatt and Long WordPress. And there we have pointed out the idea that they're good writers in part, and then it kind of gets diluted into the rest of the story. And this is one of the key examples of one of those stories that if it was all written like the one, maybe then Chloe's comments about how Lovecraft didn't get the message across as well could be justified, right? And this story is about a man-eater, of course. We're getting into stories that involve the mistress or master of temple stage. And it's someone who can move around, and basically where they are is the Nexian. But in the case of this, it's talking about a being beyond the generations. And of course, like the vampire myths of old, one of the things is the vampire has to move about so they don't get too suspicious about the fact that, you know, this being doesn't age at the rate that the rest of us age. That, 20 years seem to have gone by and they seem to be the same age. So they would have to move on probably quicker than that. But the idea is more of a dark god, as they would call it, incarnated. And people talk about possession. And possession is sort of, consensual. But what happens with it, it's not like you plan out, oh, you're going to do this and you're going to go through all these thoughts and experiences exactly how you plan. No, you gave yourself over to these entities to, you're going to manifest its will with one's body. Now, these stories seem, of course, to be guised in the, connections of this focus on the female. But in a way, you could say that it's David Myatt's, if Anton Long is David Myatt. We definitely have that Algar Merridge is Anton Long. Yeah. You want to say marriage, but it's marriage. And of course, it would be their their issues with relationships and stuff would come through in the story. But these stories can be used beyond that. It can be used beyond the feminist model.